Hi, I'm Pastor Sam Lewis, and it's my great joy to share with you the release of my new book, Living That Matters. But I want to let you know that this is not just a book, it's a way of life. You see, I believe with all of my heart that the only living that matters is living by God's design. And I believe that because I believe that God created and designed the universe to work in a certain way. And when you follow that design, life works. And when you violate that design, life doesn't work. It's as simple as that. And I believe that the Bible and all of God's laws are His human articulation of His design. It is the source and authority for understanding God's design, and it overrules science, culture, psychology, or anecdotal stories that might be in opposition. The Bible is the owner's manual for living in the universe. Now, my values is what I believe about the design of the universe, so that my values affect how I relate to God. In essence, my values determine my behavior. Now, our goal at Living That Matters is for our values to be in complete harmony with God's design. And that's why I'm presenting to you the Living That Matters, My Family Values way of life. Now, Living That Matters is a paradigm. Now, what's a paradigm? It's a pattern or an example of something. It's a model that you follow, like a template. So you look at that template and you pattern after that. You copy that template. So the Living That Matters is a paradigm of God's design for the universe. Now, in order to help you to understand and to know God's design for the universe, I've broken it down into 5 design categories or 5 value categories. In other words, I want to teach you God's design for the universe in 5 areas. I want you to understand His design spiritually, relationally, parentally, sexually, and financially. I don't think there's a lot that's going to happen to your life that's not going to fit into one of those categories. Now, My Family Values is a system of resources, accountability, and community to help you to take the Living That Matters paradigm and then customize it and personalize it to your family, and then document it in a way that could be passed down to your children and to your grandchildren. Now, how does that work? Well, it starts out with the book, Living That Matters, Living by God's Design. But as I mentioned, it's more than just a book. It is a paradigm, and I want you to fully understand that. So inside of the book, you're going to find QR codes with links to hundreds of hours of other books and websites and videos to fully help you to understand God's design in those 5 categories. And as I said, it's more than just a book. At the end of every chapter, you're going to see that it says to be continued. That means it's to be continued by you. You notice how wide the margins are? My publisher didn't like that very much, but I was trying to explain. This is not a book that you just read and put back on the shelf. This is a lifetime study, and I want you to write your notes as you look up these other resources, and you write notes, and then you pass this down to your children, where then they'll continue it and pass it down to their children. And then once you've gone through the book, we have 6 supporting websites that go along with the book. Now, this is our main website, livingthatmatters.com. And this is where you're going to go and become a part of the My Family Values community and get the resources for how to really live out this paradigm in your life. And I hope that you'll go on here and click on this register tab and go there and put your email in there so that you'll start getting regular emails from me where I'll help to keep you accountable and help to keep you on track and to know what to do next. And then click on this resources tab. Now, there's several different things in there, and you can order the book and other things there, but one of the things that you'll find there is the links that I just showed you that are in the book. For some of you that might not have smartphones or a way to click on that, you can go to this right here, links from the book, and all of those links will be right here on one page so that you can watch the videos there. It'll take you to the links that'll take you to the other websites and the other books that are there. And then click on this video teaching, and that's where you're going to go here, and you're going to see all kinds of different teachings to give you the structure here on the main page, thelivingthatmatters.com, the structure for really taking the Living That Matters paradigm and then transitioning to the My Family Values system. Here you see what's called the Principles Gallery. There's all kinds of different videos here, but the Principles Gallery is how we bridge the gap from God's design to our behavior. And then there's other videos there of all kinds of different things to inspire you to live out God's design. And then you go back to that first page and you'll see, here's where you'll see the links to the other 5 websites where you're going to get resources and help and community in each of those 5 categories. So there's spiritualitythatmatters.com, relationshipthatmatters.com, parentingthatmatters.org, sexualitythatmatters.com, and finantethatmatters.com. And we'll be building these and giving you all kinds of resources so that you can live out God's design in each of those value categories. One of the foundations of this whole structure that you'll find on this main website is something we call the My Family Values Generations Legacy Binder. Now, you can see right there, that's my binder. That's my Lewis Family Values. And that's my customized family crest that represents my family and my family values. Now, you'll have an opportunity on this website to design your own family crest, and you'll get a customized binder. Now, let's watch this video together so that you can see what this binder is all about.
Hi, I'm Pastor Sam Lewis, and I'm here to talk with you about the My Family Values Generations Legacy Binder. That's a big title for a binder, but it has big concepts. Now, the Legacy Binder is a tool with 3 primary purposes, and I want to share those purposes with you here, and then later you can go to the Generations page and you'll find videos with detailed instructions on how to use the Legacy Binder for each of those purposes. So here they are, the purposes of the My Family Values Generations Legacy Binder. First, as you identify your values and understand God's design, the Legacy Binder will help you to articulate and document those values in a way that can be handed down to future generations. Now, this will include, among other things, a look back and documenting your family history. So it involves past generations and future generations in creating a lasting legacy. Second, the Legacy Binder will help you to take the concepts and the resources from the Living That Matters teaching and adapt them to represent your unique family brand. So your binder will be personalized with your family name. And then you'll be able to design or discover your own family crest or a family logo that will be printed on your binder along with your family name. And as you advance in building your family brand that's associated with your family values, then we're going to help you to build your own My Family Values website that'll be able to help you to extend the reach and the value of your Legacy Binder. And third, the Legacy Binder will serve as a measuring tool to help you to stay aware of where you are in the journey to living by God's design. You see, when you can clearly articulate your goals and then document the journey, it becomes a great source of encouragement as you see the progress that you've made. But it also will help you to know what changes you might need to make if you're not able to see any progress in that journey. So I think that this tool could be a great asset if you truly want to live by God's design and leave a lasting legacy for your children. It's going to help you to be a doer of the word and not just a hearer. You know, I think in a way that you could view the Old Testament as God's My Family Values Generations Legacy Binder, because it documents His people's journey to learning to live by God's design. So let's get started building your own My Family Values Generations Legacy Binder. God bless you. I'm Pastor Sam Lewis with Living That Matters.
And then when you go to each of the value websites, you'll find a page called the Legacy page. And on the Legacy page, when you click on that, you'll find the resources and tools and instructions of the things that you're going to place into your legacy binder. And there's all kinds of different things, too numerous for me to talk about here on this video. But one of the most important things that you'll find that goes right in the beginning of the legacy binder is what we call the Living by God's Design Family Covenant. And you can see my family covenant right there. And this is a package that you can order on the websites, and it's customized for your family. And it's a complete covenant that you'll make an agreement with your spouse in a ceremony together. And let me show you what's inside this covenant. You look on pages, you'll see the spiritual values. That's the 15 values in the 5 categories that are taught in the book and on the websites. And then here are the vows for husbands and vows for wives that you're going to find in the book and on the relationshipthatmatters.com. And then the story of our covenant. And this comes from the book of Nehemiah. Now, the book of Nehemiah is fascinating if you've never read it, because it is an incredible parallel to where we are in the church today in regards to our nation. You see, in the time of Nehemiah, God's people, having come out of captivity, had completely integrated into the people of the land, into the culture. They were living in all the cities, and you could no longer tell the difference between God's people and the people of the land. And this concerned Nehemiah. He was looking and saying, where are God's people? And Jerusalem was in ruins. And God led Nehemiah to call God's people once again out from among the people of the land. And they joined together and they rebuilt Jerusalem, rebuilt the walls of Jerusalem. And when they came to the end of the time that they had built this, they came together and had a big ceremony in which they recounted all the times in the history of Israel that they had gotten outside of God's design, had left His laws, had left His covenant and His ordinances, and every time they did, it was catastrophic. And each time that they did, God in His compassion and mercy and love brought them back, and they rekindled again. But then they would get away from it again, and it was catastrophic, and God again would bring them back. And it happened time and time again. And in the 9th chapter, they recount this. And then at the end of that chapter, they said, now because of all this, we are making an agreement in writing, and on the sealed document are the names of our leaders, Levites, and priests. And so they signed together a commitment, a covenant, that they were going to return to God's design, to His laws, to His statutes, and live again. And then you're going to see, here is the covenant. Here is what you would sign with your spouse. And this is something that we'll show you how to do in a ceremony. It's kind of like a vows renewal that you would go through with your family and sign this together. And eventually we're working on making this a full package that you could design your whole wedding around this covenant. And you can see there it says, I, the husband and the wife, and we make this covenant with each other, the undersigned, and the Lord our God. And here it is, to live by God's design, specifically the 15 values stated in the Living That Matters paradigm, and to strive to live out the roles of husbands and wives as defined in the vows for husbands and wives in the Living That Matters paradigm, to yield our rights to God so that we may be of the same mind, maintaining the same love, united in spirit, intent on one purpose, which is the biblical description of a godly relationship. And then finally, to pass these values to our children and to our grandchildren. And that is really the point of all this, not only to learn and understand and document what your values are, to understand God's design, but to do it in a way that now you can intentionally pass this down to generation after generation. And I believe that this would be incredible, because on the Parenting That Matters website, you're going to find all kinds of tools and helps in raising your kids. And one of the things you'll find there is how to take them through certain rites of passages. And one of those rites of passage is when you feel like they come to the place where they're ready by choice to sign the family covenant. And you can see there, we the sons and daughters of putting your names there, the mother and father, declare by our signatures below our agreement with the family covenant signed by our mother and father. And then they sign there, each of your kids, when they come to that place where they're ready. And then, of course, when they get married and you give them this whole binder and you pass all these values down, they would, in their wedding, sign this covenant with their spouse and then their children. And then not only your immediate family, so your children, but listen to what it says there in the 10th chapter of Nehemiah. Now, the rest of the people, the priest, the Levites, the gatekeepers, the singers, the temple servants, and all those who had separated themselves from the peoples of the land to the law of God. See, it wasn't just about what they were separating from, but what they were separating to. It's getting back to God's design. And it says, their wives, their sons, and their daughters, and all those who had knowledge and understanding are joining with their kinsmen, their nobles, and are taking themselves a curse and an oath to walk in God's law, which was given through Moses, God's servant, and to keep and observe all the commandments of God our Lord, and his ordinances and his statutes, and that we will not give our daughters to the peoples of the land, or take their daughters for our sons. So what you're going to do with this is you're going to send out to your extended family, aunts and uncles and grandparents and cousins and nephews and nieces, this covenant, a copy of the covenant. Ask them to read it and pray about it. And if they are in agreement with it, ask them to sign your signature page. And so they'll put all of their names here, and there'll be numerous signature pages that you can fill up. And then you pass this down to the next generation. Wouldn't it be awesome if 3 or 4 generations from now that you could have hundreds of signatures of your family agreeing together to live by God's design, and that's what your family would be known for. Now, there's much more that's involved in this whole process, but this gives you just an overview of what the Living That Matters paradigm is and the My Family Values system in order to help you to live out that paradigm. But I hope that you've seen enough to understand why it's important that we all come to agreement, that we understand that the only living that matters is living by God's design. God bless you on this journey to live by God's design. We hope to see you more. I'm Pastor Sam Lewis for Living That Matters.